neighbors of Ukraine and Russia,
Mm-hmm.
Poland, Germany, then little more far away, France, and
Mm-hmm.
other Latvia and other countries. Certainly, they will be on the immediate neighbors will be on an alert,
Mm-hmm.
as they have said, and the distant neighbors, that is, big powers of Europe, Germany, uh, and France, and also Poland being nearby. They
Hmm.
would watch the situation closely so that it does not spill over to their territory,
Hmm.
and they will not. Though it might be possible that NATO plans to give some supplies, some assistance to the Wagner Group,
Hmm.
because it will be in NATO's, it will be uh, good for NATO, beneficial for NATO. But the thing is that Wagner Group doesn't have unlimited supply of weaponry. Whatever weapon they have, that has been given by the Russian army to them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Russian army has limitless supplies, I can say. Russian weapon industry is running overnight for the last few years. So what happens when the supply depletes, supply of ammunitions and arms to Wagner depletes? One thing. Second thing is, though they say that okay, we are going to marching to Moscow, but as far as my information is, Moscow has got at least 3 layers of security on its perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
It will be very difficult for the Wagner army to penetrate this Chakravti. Thirdly, Wagner's chief Prigozhin, earlier he said that he is not against Putin, he is not against army, but what he is not against the country, he is for the country, but what he is against is the defense ministry. It should be removed as per his demand. But then, as the situation unfolded, it seems that Putin had earlier discussions with Prigozhin in this morning, which failed. And that's why probably Putin's address to the nation, which was